better than that. I'm glad I didn't hit it before with what you just said.
Mm-hmm.
I've hit it now, though, so.
Oh. And no one will ever know the last 5 seconds.
Oh, the things that happen around here.
It's not very interesting, but just one good joke, which as we know is a rarity for me, so.
I mean, no, you come up with good jokes.
Well, jokes and good. As long as you air quote everything in that sentence, then yes.
Your appearances. And,
See?
Hi, guys. We're back.
Hello.
This is a day late. We should have done this one yesterday, but...
Well, it's not a day late. We had other things we were doing. It's not
well, yeah.
The first day we could do it, Stuart.
It's true. It's true.
So it's not. We're right on time with our personal schedules.
Yes.
See?
So welcome back, guys. As you know, well, as you maybe don't know, we just hit 60,000 subscribers today after a long trudge up to get there. And yes, that was awesome. I'm so excited about that because we were there before, and then YouTube decided, oh, 7,000 of your subscribers are now gone.
Thanks.
Yeah, that really sucked. So we're back.
That grinded your gears.
It did. It did.
No, and we'll probably have a little talk about that as well throughout, just kind of a celebratory vibe, because that was a personal, goal for Stuart for at least a few months. So it's yeah. Everyone can.
We're not going to hit our
that.
100,000 by the end of the year, like I suspected, though.
Well,
or I won't.
I mean, obviously we've got, conceptually in a few weeks we'll have daily Trek and weekly Trek. So depending how, because as we know, depending how popular the shows are, is more views we get because more people search for it. And wonderfully, as part of this trailer, which we'll talk about obviously in a minute, they did say that Lower Decks is going to come to Amazon Prime in the UK, confirmed. Yes. And they didn't say it wasn't on the same date as everything else, which implies it is the same date as everything else. Because otherwise you'd say that, because it was Europe, it was all these other countries, it's quite explicit. So this time, as opposed to us being in the Lower Decks, some of the few people who could watch it and do stuff with it, this time around it's going to be everything, everyone everywhere. So the audience should be broader, and I mean, hopefully there's a big community that appreciate Lower Decks, so hopefully our views will be higher, which means more people, and bits and bobs. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, worldwide release is good. Last time, it was only North America, and unfortunately that limited the audience and the views of those videos, unfortunately. So this time, hopefully, things will be better.
Well, I think people are trepidatious on the quality of the show. But I think, especially if you came in late after boycotting and watched the first 4, you'd be like, oh, this is great. Done.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Not a hard sell once you watch a couple. Because, sometimes is that a fluke episode? Like Picard, the first 3 are radically different to the rest of the episode, season in terms of tone. You know what I mean?
So anyway, thank you to all you guys that are watching that are subscribed. If you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button, because we'd really appreciate it. We do a lot of good discussions and talks, and you guys definitely contribute to that. So if you can subscribe, please do.
And join the channel, memberships. They've been a super, super useful backbone in the last 6 months. So if you want to be a member, and we love the fact that you have little icons, so it's really fun because sometimes we have a full chat of icon people, which is like, oh, that's amazing. They kind of feel like our cousins, like they're family, sort of, once removed family, but really still family, and that's lovely.
Absolutely, we love you guys. Unlike our cousins, which we might not always love. We love you more than family. Anyway, that being said, 85 people here.
Yes. Except Stuart's Internet, who's not here apparently.
5 likes. Hit that like button. What? Oh, I'm back. Yeah, hit the like button, guys. I just gotta tell my kid to get off the internet because he's an idiot.
Yes, it's true. But I will... I was like, is that...
You share. I'll talk to these people.
I was like, is that a pause internet or is that a pause? I was a pause. I could tell by the sub, so like, okay, we're all good. Yes. I'll start sharing. See you in a minute. Bye, everyone.
All right, guys. So yeah, hitting like is a great way to help us out. It's easy, it's free, and everyone can do it. So please do that. Also, if you, as Daniel was saying, if you want to join the channel, it's a great way as well. There's a join button there beside the subscribe button, and it gives you some perks and some cool stuff as well. So check it out. From very little amount a month to more a month, it all helps out in the end. So if you can, please do, and make sure you're subscribed. If the subscribe button is red, it shouldn't be red. Hit that button. Super chats are another great way. We got a bunch stacked up here, which we'll get to as soon as Samuel gets back. But they get your voice heard because we do read them all out on the air. All the questions, all the comments, anything you notice that you want us to talk about, by all means, put it in there. The general chat too, we do read a lot of the stuff there as well. A lot of times it is kind of hard when we're talking though to get all the stuff. So if you want to make sure that you get your comment read, by all means, super chat is a great way to do it, and it does show your support for the channel. So another way to support the channel, excuse me, is to head on down to the description of each video. There is a link down there to the TeePublic store and the Teespring store. We have 2 stores for the Trekyards merchandise. Some really great stuff. You guys have been buying up stuff lately, and we really appreciate that because there's some really cool stuff that we have available for you guys to purchase. So some Trekyards merchandise and stuff, which is great. We really love that, and we love seeing it when we go out to conventions and stuff. So if you can do that, please consider doing it, or at least go take a look. Take a look at what we have there. 98 people here now, which is fantastic, with only 58 likes though. Again, I think we can get to 75, so hit that like button if you haven't already. I do want to hit 100 likes, so if you're watching this after the fact, or if you're watching this just now and you just tuned in, by all means hit that like button. We'd really appreciate it. And we're going to talk about this trailer and a few other things. And like I said, just hitting 60,000 subscribers today was actually really cool. It was a slow slog to get up there after YouTube pulled its shenanigans. So we're there now. So just looking forward to more subscribers and stuff. So share the content and just spread the Trekyards word everywhere. And Samuel's back, so we can look at super chats now. We got a bunch. Let's get into it. Ozzy Medeiros, $10. Thank you so much, Ozzy. All hail the Superior Commander Robin and the Super Captain Batman Foley, who is driving the Argo Federation President. Driving the Argo Federation President, skeleton hands. Okie dokie.
With our
you're back to okie dokie because it's lower decks.
With our scared faces like, oh no, he's driving. What do we do to deserve this?
Dementia, $5. We're not people.
Yeah.
What are you then? Oh, that's the Antidigans. Antidigans from the thing. Yes. Yes. Thank you. Good reference. Matt Boardman, $10. Celebrating 60,000 Trekyard subscribers. Awesome. We're more than halfway to 100,000, guys. I want a silver play button on the wall.
We need we need. There ain't no want there. There's need.
We need it.
Yes.
We need it.
Some recognition.
To feel validated.
Well, some recognition of our thousands of hours spent. Like, at what point do we have tens of thousands of hours spent? You know.
I think we're probably there.
Probably there, yeah. But it doesn't. It doesn't help. We've never done clickbait. We've never done, algorithmic thing. It's bit us in the butt, but people respect us for it, which is a double-edged sword.
We should get a YouTube mentor, like the channels that have like 1 million. Hear me? There we go. Yeah, a lot of channels have like mentors, which are channels that have more than 1 million subscribers, help out small YouTube channels. Maybe that's something we should look into.
That's the problem with doing niche content. How many people really want to look at a new tricorder from an animated cartoon that only so many people have seen?
A lot.
Well, it's always going to be niche, but those that love it are passionate.
Trek, it's a thing. Olivia Julius, $2. It's Trekyards. Good to see Samuel and his co-host. Damn, that's from the Federation President's office.
Yep. A memo has now been decreed, Stuart. I mean, there's some validity there.
I guess I'm going to get a letter in the mail in the next few days for my demotion from captain to ensign.
Well, no, you're not quite as bad as Ricky, so it'd be Lieutenant Junior.
Great. Good. Squadron Course, $2. Woot. Congrats on 60K subscribers.
Thank you
so much. Tangerine Star, 26, 2 pounds, 60K subs. Hurrah! Great work. Congrats to all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Sergeant Montgomery, $2, 60,000. Thumbs up. Live long and prosper. Blues Brothers, mall scene Easter egg. Ooh, I didn't know about that one, but we'll get there when we get there. So, welcome, guys, and thank you so much. Like I said, hit that like button. We're almost at the 75 I asked for. We have 105 people here now. I think we get 100 now. So hit that like button if you haven't already.
You've got to do so. Make it blue.
Yes, it is important. But what did you think, Samuel?
Ah, he's gonna ask me first.
When you saw this teaser trailer,
I was playing chicken with you. Who'd ask each other first?
Well, usually when you're like quiet and you go, it's like you want me to ask you something.
Oh.
So I'm like, okay, I'll just see. I've learned. I'm like a dog. I can learn new tricks.
Yeah, it was interesting because it's animated. So you're kind of like with the last trailer. We know exactly what was in the last season. We've reviewed it. We've looked at it. It's all animated. So when you look at a scene in the transporter room, it's the same rough graphic for the whole scene. Whereas live action has more finesse to it. So I was watching it thinking, is this fan made or have I seen it before? Because it's so familiar, which is a good thing. It's part of the world. And I felt so instantly absorbed into these characters' journey, even though it was super short and nothing really happened per se. I was like, hey, we get to see more of them soon, which is a nice feeling, But there was no conflicting emotions of, oh no, they're going to ruin a character, or are they going to kill someone by ripping their eye out? Or is the same show, or are they going to go into the future and break canon? I'm just like, oh, cool. Looking forward to that. Oh, you, Stuart.
Yeah. No, I hit me out of the blue, this one, and I was wanting something a little bit more, like what's it, 15 seconds or something, and it was fine. I was kind of underwhelmed, honestly, but that first shot of like the space station with the ships was like, oof,
went up 4 or 5 feet.
Yes.
Just
could have gone up higher, but it wasn't quite that good. Yes. So yeah, we love the ships, we love the stations, we love talking about that kind of stuff. So that's something definitely we're going to be talking about. But anyway, yes, it was good to see some variety there as well. So.
And it's small details. Obviously, the dress uniforms were a lovely touch because they've already shown they use the other dress uniforms. So the fact that they've swapped these ones is interesting. I'm assuming different occasions they just swap them between them. But it is a nice touch. Would have nice to have more. But this is definitely a It was a remember, guys, we are coming soon sort of trailer. There was no meat to it at all. It's more just, look, we have stuff to see. We do exist. Don't worry.
Yeah, don't forget about us.
Because not that we forgot it's coming out in a month, but a month is you're living your life, and so it's just like, oh yeah, it's only a month. And obviously it would have been nice to have a full second trailer that teases more, maybe even gave away one guest star or something. But maybe the fact they've shown so little, relatively speaking, of the season means they've got some really cool things, and they want to let you enjoy it as you go. We've often complained, and moviegoers especially, that trailers give too much away, and so do you either want half the stuff spoiled in the trailer, or go and you're like, well, why haven't they ever promoted it? I know a couple of films in the last 5 years have had arguably all their best jokes in the trailer, and then you watch it in the film in the cinema, and all of your biggest laughs don't land because you laughed them during the trailer 4 months ago, and you're like, oh, that was funny because the best ones are in the trailer.
It's always a sad thing when that happens, but they sometimes know that they don't have gold, so they just put everything good in the trailer. I don't know.
As soon as they get your cinema ticket, they've got your money. Doesn't matter if you stay. Well, of course you're going to stay, but it doesn't matter what you think about it necessarily.
Yeah. So yes, and a lot of people have shared this with me when it first came out, which I appreciate. I do appreciate getting a heads up that way. So, and there's been some discussion online about the ships and stuff, which we will get into. So, looking forward to your thoughts as well. Like I said, if you want to super chat, great way to do it and get it noticed, or just the regular chat as well. So, talk. I mean, we got 122 people here, 84 likes. That is amazing. So we only need, like 16 more to get to 100, and that's definitely doable.
And so what do you guys think? What do you guys think of the teaser, or what was the thing you took away most from it? Of course you enjoyed it. It's a simple little teaser. What did you take most away from it?
So yeah, put whether you enjoyed it and then what you liked best about it probably in the chat right now, so we can kind of get a vibe for what you guys are feeling.
And it's odd how I actually had to go searching for this, not only for region lockness, but we also want to look at the ship stuff, and they gave us a widescreen version on one of the YouTube channels, was limited to 720p, which is not a very high resolution, especially if you try and zoom in, it doesn't hold up at all, and a full 1080p resolution box version for Instagram and Twitter, which was high resolution and without the Parent Plus logo, but it's a box, so you're losing some of the image.
Mm-hmm.
Why are they doing that? And start with big widescreen versions. It's just like, this is an inferior picture. The show is not rendered at this quality. I was amazed by but the fact that Paramount CBS still region locks their videos is astounding. If they're trying to have an international world thing, it's beyond absurd. It's marketing. You market to everybody.
Yeah, I don't understand that at all.
Most companies don't. That's a relic at this point.
Yeah. Some exclusive stuff I might understand if it's like region locked for like a week or two and then they release it elsewhere. That's fine, I guess, but I don't understand it. We're going to region lock all of our stuff to the Earth solar system.
Only those that live 50 miles out of a London.
Yeah.
Either one, but one of them.
Yeah.
Well, I bet there's like a London, and every place has London in it. So London Road in Belgium, London Square in Moscow, London near 50 miles of that.
I'd like to see the programming required to do that. Honestly,
smash the keyboard with your fists. I think. I don't think there's any. Oh dear. So what do people think then? What's some of the reviews coming in?
Let's see. Matthew says, like the space dock. My main takeaway was that I'm looking forward to watching the show again. No particular moment in the trailer itself. I would agree with that, except for the ships, obviously. I was afraid they'd be split up most of the season. They might be. It might be for a few episodes. We don't even know.
Well, they're making season 3 right now, so they have the entire season worth of content to show off. So this could be literally the last episode.
Yeah. And that's the thing too. Somebody had said that another channel, one of the ships there is the Titan that's docked, and it's clearly not. That could be how they meet up again or whatever. And it's like, no, man, watch Trekyards, figure stuff out.
It's like there was a YouTube channel that reviewed my Long Way From Home, and they said, "Oh, the Prometheus class! It's so good to see that ship again."
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, they don't look that similar. But that's different when we are actually ship experts. But yes, it's like, come on, guys.
And 127 people here now, so 91 likes is good, but we can do better, guys. Hit that like button. Okay. So yeah, let's see what else people are saying. Matthew asks, is 720p is optimal resolution for social media, perhaps?
No, often releasing 1080p. That's
yeah.
That's a non-issue.
Shannon says maybe the region lock is part of the international distribution deal. Only thing that makes sense. It would make sense to be some kind of legal issue like that. Yeah.
It's the only reason I can think of. But then as part of that, you'd think they would have their own international YouTube channel to promote that. And why did Amazon Prime UK not then release a trailer on the same day, therefore making everyone look stupid? It's fine if you want to region lock things to see where your views come from, but you have to release it on both places at the same time.
Yeah.
By not doing that, you're wasting everyone's time. But speaking of wasting people's time, Stuart, you all came here to look at the space station. Obviously, I'll stick with the non-branded one, which is a little high resolution. Yeah, it's Vanguard. It's a it's not necessarily TNG Vanguard, but it's a non-TOS Vanguard.
It's different enough from Vanguard, I would argue, but it's got some of the similar things for sure.
I mean, I've rendered Vanguard in about 8 fan films.
Okay.
I know exactly what it looks like. I know you do too, but I mean, it's clearly the one inspiration, and therefore, the TNG Vanguard. But this is it's the first image, and I did actually tweak my man, as you saw, saying well done, because it's another sign of you can do the same but different. Because this is a totally justifiably good looking version of Vanguard TNG, and I might have to nick it for a fan film. I'm gonna be honest. Because it's good. It works well. I think the scale's
Yeah.
probably broken, but that's okay.
Yeah, the scale does feel a little broken. Jersey, though, $2. There are actually 29 Londons in the world.
See, our
And-
audience is at least hundreds.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah, so those are probably just cities that he's talking about too. We're not talking, like you said, London Street, London Crescent, London Road, all those ones, all over the, yeah. So, anywho, no, it is a great looking station, and it's fully loaded. It must be some kind of diplomatic thing going on. Maybe that explains the dress uniforms, but it also raises the question: is this like a does it have a museum aspect to it? Because some of the attachments there, you got Daedalus class ships, which are way old at this point. It's not even an Olympic class. I thought it might be Olympic class at first because I didn't have any like higher res versions to see, and that would have made sense because we saw one in season 1. But no, they're clearly Daedalus class ships. So
And yet, they have inner warp grills and glowing orange facades. So I think they're just refitted versions.
possibly,
How do you feel about that? They're old.
I think that's cool.
Yeah.
Even the size is great compared to the other
Yes.
ships. It's like that makes a lot of sense. So because those are big ships back in the day when they were new, but even the Maquis Raider there looks like bigger than the Daedalus class quite a bit. And
I mean,
it's
that's
like, ugh.
well, yeah. I mean, the Maquis are all destroyed. It's not a Maquis Raider. If there's a Maquis Raider, it's not. Presumably some.
Yeah.
Yeah, but and that is not the size of a Maquis Raider. It was never that big. So clearly because the Cerritos is pretty big.
But Samuel,
Oh,
what
hello.
about the Jaeger class? It has a Maquis Raider body on a.
So you're saying this is a Jaeger class
primary hull.
refit where they remove the Intrepid elements?
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what this is.
Can I shoot
'Cause
you
that-
now with some sort of...
'Cause
Death-
that was
death-
upscaled, obviously, for that ship. That's one of the problems we have with it.
Now, speaking of upscaled and whatever, I'm disappointed that the Cerritos looks unchanged, because we had certain confidences that it would be upgraded, more detail, fixed. You know, I don't see phaser strips here. I don't see things that are important. And this is obviously a view from season 2, and I doubt it. They just happened to use the old model to not give things away. I'm disappointed it looks the same. It should have been upgraded to factor in the same things. Now, some would argue it's just a cartoon, but when you look at the Vulcan warp sled from season 1, it was intensely well detailed. So this is choices to make it less detailed. What do you think?
Never really thought about that, but yeah, it was getting the refit at the end there, and we thought some kind of changes would be great. Because yeah, it does lack visible phaser strips and things that should be on ships of the era, but we'll see. We'll have to see. Might get some beauty passes with more detail. Who knows?
Oh, well, I mean, we're going to. I mean, of course we are. But it's just a bit disappointing because I thought it would be a nice way of seeing. And I don't remember. But it looks like there might now be cutouts out of the second set of pylons next to the deflector, which wasn't in the first season one. So they said let's add more negative space, and it's like, oh, that's definitely an improvement.
Well, we hit 100 likes though, but we have 138 people here now, so now we can easily hit 120. So
Although you
we
can
always have new
now
goals.
see the shuttle bay. It's finally
can
on the
you?
model. Well, that's nice. Let me zoom in. You can see the shuttle bay, which is where we thought it was, but if you look at the show, it was never actually there. But yeah, you can see it in the. You know, I'm pointing my cursor, but you can't see it. But next to the yellow thing, you can see the shielded lines around it. So, I mean, which is where we knew it was, but they was never there.
Well, there you go then. ISTF 1009, $5.
Thank you.
Andorians be docked there to the left. Yeah, and to the right. It looks like two different classes of Andorian cruisers as well. There's a difference on the one on the right.
Well, briefly before you just there might be phaser. I think there may be phaser strips now with there's something ahead of the yellow line, just between the rim of one and the. So I think there may be phaser strips now, but pretty unchanged. And the blue grill's now green, which they shouldn't be, but whatever. Yes, Andorian ships. Yeah, no, they are different. Yeah, one's got a fin, a
Mhm.
bigger fin, which is, and there's the different colours. One's a purpley and one's a pinky, like an orangey pinky.
Well, that might tie into the next super chat. Ozzy puts
Oh.
in $5. Is that a discovery ship at the space station? No. No.
Although I'm wondering if the ship next to Cerritos might be a Shinjo reference and how it's
Well,
formatted, because it kind of has some vague vibes. Although it is the same as the other one, isn't it? Oh,
it is, yeah, and it's similar, very similar to the Parliament class that we saw in season 1. But judging by the size here, the Cerritos is much bigger than this one. I had the feeling that the Parliament class was at least the same size as the Cerritos, if not a little bigger.
Yeah, I remember one of the sites saying that one on the right was a Parliament, but it clearly isn't. And the Parliament is quite a bit larger. That's the whole point. Because it not so much the saucer, but its extra bulk gives it extra bulk. But no, the saucer is completely different to the. Well, it's a modern Miranda, isn't it? It's a modern Miranda, but smaller. And they've pulled elements from the Enterprise E with the aft neck, or aft head bit, which is good. There was a ship similar to this in the very early promotion posters of season 1, but it's not the identical same. But they may have changed the detailing. But it looks fine. Boxy nacelles, which I wonder why that was a choice. Not to say that you can't have boxy nacelles, but they don't look as good.
Maybe that's what Ozzy was talking about with the Discovery, because
Yeah.
it's kind of Discovery style nacelles.
Oh.
It can't be cylindrical.
But it does have warp grills, at least. I mean, familiar stuff.
Yeah.
But, no ship's invented whole cloth. Everything feels about right. Assuming that we assume Lodex is as canon as can be, which is, again, a slightly difficult proposition. Means I can throw Andorian ships in fan films for post-TNG and be like, here you go.
Well, we've both made the assertion that Lower Decks is the most canon of all of the new Trek so far.
I just mean visually.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I was going to say, Matthew DeFritas, $2. I'm getting BSG vibes from the ship on the left.
Oh, you mean
from the Andorian ship?
There's always a little bit of that in the ship for sure. Lode Tipo asks, Trekyards, what do you want from season 2 in terms of comedy? More dark humor, more jokes. What was your season 1 felt about humor in general, and how to improve it as opposed to be a comedy show? Great question.
What to expect from season 2? I don't know, just more of the same, because they really had a great show going. The first episode kind of got me a little bit, and I was a little bit put off by the speed of the dialogue delivery and such, but that very quickly changed. So I think the humor is fine. More dark humor. I mean, do we really need more dark in Star Trek? We've already got, Picard and Discovery. So, I mean, no. But you say dark humor, so that's a tough call. I just want more of the same, because the season 1 was so good. I left every episode feeling good, feeling happy, and I just want more of that for season 2. And hopefully they don't mess up the formula. I don't think they will. I think Mike McMahon's got a good handle on things, and looking forward to talking to him eventually too about season 2 and 3 maybe.
And yeah, for me, it was definitely a good balance in season 1. I definitely don't want more dark humor, because dark humor is hurting people, is making people feel inferior, making jokes at the expense of the male character, making Orion slavery jokes. These are jokes that aren't, they work in moderation when the payoff is the payoff, but they're not good in and of themselves, and we'll get into that in a minute, but just having the joke of having the one-off TNG alien race in it, to me, that's added humour. Even though it's just a alien race in the show, it's a bit of humour. Having the riser element, little riser, that's funny. It's not laugh out loud funny most of the time. Lodex isn't a laugh out loud comedy, but the situations are clever, entertaining, and they're amusing in the simplicity of them. When some jokes really do hit you over the top, hit you over the head. But it's still, it's still a Star Trek show with officers in the top ranks. The bottom ranks, the top ranks of Starfleet. They shouldn't be the most stupid people. They shouldn't be the most, throwing pies at each other. There needs to be a level of decorum Otherwise, it'll just feel absurd and silly. You know, when the TOS anime series went to cartoony, you don't feel as connected because it's like, well, this is not what would happen ever. It's just a cartoon. So it's you know, having a joke about bits and having a joke about the Mariner saying it's the same when they go on board the Parliament class. Say this is, oh my god, it's so shiny. It's the same room. No, it's not. It's like, it is. Like, that's it's not funny, but it is still funny because we get it as a fan of okay, they kit bash sets, etc. So, clever humor I'd rather. Star Trek is a clever show. Mike's a very clever guy. A few more laugh out loud jokes are good. Certainly the quick fire jokes of like the Gorn wedding, Rutherford's set of events had me really like on the edge of my seat going, oh my god, what is this? So it's we've had enough dark humor. Lower Decks is not about dark humor, even though it has got some dark elements. And the fact that Mariner should now be a much better character in season 2. She's learned who she is and where she fits into her ship. She should not be as Michael Burnham-y in season 2, unless they just want to regress the character. She was already the better Michael Burnham anyway, Michael Burnham version 2. So more of the same, but now you don't have to establish everybody, and now you have more complicated relationships, and now you have, Bourne having lived on the Titan, So yeah.
Dan23 says, where is it here? That the triangular ship is not like any Raider or that we've seen before. It's exactly the same as the Maquis Raider, though.
Stuart, how do we know that?
Because we've done videos on the Maquis Raider, and I have the model. I have a model of it built somewhere around here, and it's exactly the same.
And here's a render of it for comparison.
Yes.
Exactly the same.
Unless he's talking about 2 other little ships or things that have glowing red elements at the bottom of the station there.
He can't, though.
They look like clouds, though. And like explosions on the surface. Yeah. That'd be interesting.
I even appreciate the Maquis Raider has even the blue glows on the edges that you don't even think of ever. It's like, oh, okay. Yeah, of course they are. Of course they're there. And I do like this. I do like the starbase. I think they did a good job. I really do. How do you take the same design and just tweak it a bit? I do wish, though, if I was making one change, I think I would do this if I was doing it. You see on the top with that little box just sticking out of the hull with a little line, I would make that a Star Trek 6 docking door. That's all I would do. Just make that a dedicated docking door. That'd be the only change I'd make, honestly.
But it's like you said, the scale's kind of messed up, though. There's no way that any ship would fit in this.
Well, in the Daedalus would, happily. So anything of a Daedalus size. Small ships, freighters. I mean, it's not meant to be for a big ship. It's meant to be it's a small starbase, so it'd be small ships.
Yeah, I get the feeling that the docking parts on the outside are the only... I have a feeling the interior is all interior.
No,
there's not empty space for ships.
Yeah.
And I like that because that eats up a lot of room, especially if the scale is correct. That is a lot of internal volume compared to the ships. So there's no problem there. But
the windows are obviously then broken because they can't possibly be that big.
Yeah.
Although I do get the sense from the Cerritos view that they've actually cut down the amount of windows because the windows aren't. I mean, I've actually animated with this thing, so and my guy was very careful with it, so it does feel like I've changed the window arrangements. But yeah. Anyway, so then we get a non-Argo chase.
Yeah. Before we get to that, though, Mike Bravo, great name, puts in $4. They should have B4 on the show. Great comedy.
Ooh. Never saw the moon shining so dark.
So bright. Oh.
Never saw things. My eyes are on the floor. Please help me, Mariner. I need my brother. Oh wait, he's dead. Fuck my life.
But what about Lore? He's still around.
We don't talk about Lore. He took lol. It's very confusing. Oh no. Oh,
yeah, so these non-Argo things, just mall cops, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
That's good.
How I feel about that. But
two brief notes, though. Tipo says, isn't the Maquis Raider a bunch of Starfleet models smashed together? No, that's the Jaeger. The Maquis Raider was custom built for TNG and is a very fine-looking model. And
as long as it's sized properly, based on the windows.
Yes. And BG Turin says, anyone having trouble with super chatting? No, but I don't try and super chat.
Yes, try again if you're having trouble, I guess.
But thank you for trying.
Hold on. 160 people here, 120
Fantastic.
likes. Fantastic. We hit all of our like goals so far, but I think we can do 140 now because there's more people here. So hit that like button if you're new. Thank you for joining us. Dementia puts in $5.
Thank you.
Those are interesting Starfleet uniform variants. Yes.
Well, and this is the pinch of salt because they are just the. Oh, are they? Maybe they're not. Maybe they are just officer variants of them, because that's where the stripes are, aren't they, for their uniform?
Yep. It's pretty much the same thing, just different color.
Yeah. It's exactly. It's the dress uniform, just in their style.
Yep.
And
one thing that should be pointed out too is that both Mariner and Boimler are both ensigns. Wasn't he lieutenant junior grade on the Titan? So, well, I was going to say there's this flashback, but it's not going to be.
But we knew he'd be demoted. Let's be honest. There was no question in my mind that the lovable scamp would be demoted. But it's status quo, isn't it? They shuffled things around to. But I assume this is slightly later in the season, because I'm kind of hoping they do at least sort of 3 episodes Titan bound. Because one is a cop out. I think they said they're doing at least 2, but hopefully 3. But no, I like these uniforms. They're fine. They're good. I like the original dress uniforms more, although they are very abstract from the rest of the uniforms. These at least you understand it. And then because of the starbase looks very Starfleety, Federation-y, or Federation-y, I should say. They're being chased in what they're chasing. What do you think's going on here then?
Oh, I have no idea, man. It looks like they're I don't know. They break out of the Lucky Ferengi shop, I know that. And loaded up with data figures, or if those were just in the Lucky Ferengi shop, but there's some data figures there. That's a really quick little. I don't know if a lot of people noticed.
It's one frame of in focus.
Yeah. Literally
one. Because they were like, and let's wait for the online YouTubers to freeze frame it and show a one still we put in. We have the power over their YouTube channels.
Will Data be in it? Why is he memorialized as an action figure?
It's true. Data confirmed. Yes.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. Somebody just mentioned Sergeant Montgomery says it's a holodeck program, and she really misses Boimler. Maybe they're on their way to like this diplomatic thing. It's like join me in the holodeck for a bit first. Who knows?
Well, no, I think he means that this is a full holodeck simulation. That's why he's an ensign. Playing a game with him, and then it reveals like everything goes truly wrong, and then boom.
Possibly.
But it's a great. I mean, I'm not the most interested in this sort of scene. I'll be honest. A car chase in an unknown place doesn't excite me as a concept. Like them being in an Argo variant in episode 1 at least was grounding it. But the simple things like they cross a Gorn.
He's wearing a very Discovery style-esque uniform. It's got the same shapes as far as the sides go and stuff.
But the fact that's exactly how Gorn should look, and treated like an actual alien race, without the baggage of a loincloth. Yes, if they would just have clothes, that's fine. It grounds, it gives them justification, and this is well past TOS. I mean, they've never really broached into the Gorn, but just have a Gorn episode would be lovely. And then obviously they deal with these aliens from TNG, and do you want to talk about those guys now?
The Antedians, which were the ones that were in stasis, and they're going to sabotage the diplomatic function by blowing it up. So, in an early episode of TNG, I mean, it
was like the second Loaxana episode.
Yeah. But they smashed through this tank with like this octopus thing in it. They
were the squid terrorists. That was the payoff. It wasn't the reptiles of the squids. And this is what Lower Decks. This is what I would do if I had unlimited budget or unlimited whatever. You would throw in existing races. I said this to someone the other day. There is, if you counted every Alpha Quadrant race ever seen, including those that even Discovery's used in from the motion picture, that background, there's at least going to be 200 races. At least.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So why need to invent new ones when you've got this pantheon of races that don't have to be art designed, can be thrown in, you get to add something to their story, you get to be the guy that you almost use them the most, and they'd all exist here. Now, yes, they've invented this random horned dude and blue dude, which are going to be seen and forgotten. They're not going to leave any impression ever, right? But by using Anticons, it's like, oh, cool. History links in, evolves them. You know, it's a simple thing. And this is what Lower Decks can bring to the universe, is the universe. Bringing the universe to the universe.
And I mean, some of the stores there, after they smash through the tank, you see some of the writing on the above them, very Klingon-esque. So I mean, that could probably even be translated from Klingon.
That's true.
But I mean, it's worth pointing that out. Like, there's languages and stuff that already exist, as you said. That's a perfect way to do this. This is what this is for. Mm-hmm. Although I can't recognize the language that's the one besides Lucky Ferengi, if it's even supposed to be anything. But
and you talk about the uniforms. There's a cat lady, or cat male, but with a similar feeling uniform vibe, shoulders to the Gorn. So potentially this is a garb that's, maybe it could be Federation station, and so they have, like, I mean, obviously they have their own private security. So maybe this could be, you know, private citizens. But I feel like this is definitely going to be a sort of civilian, and you know, a deep, maybe this is like Deep Space 19. Maybe something as simple as that. Or Deep Space 12, you know, but, you know, another Deep Space station, because you know, the ships that are there, they're all old or civilian-y. If there's a ring of bars and shops, then it's not going to be, it's more DS9 versus main station. That gives the opportunity to see a lot more of the universe. So it'd be kind of fun if it was you know.
Mm-hmm. What Memory says this show is a terrible and horrible wannabe Rick and Morty knockoff, hidden with a slight Star Trek theme. Definitely did not do the original animated series justice. It's not acting like the original animated series. The original animated series had the same tones and stories as like TOS. This is definitely its own thing. I disagree that it's a Rick and Morty knockoff.
I wonder if they've actually seen the entire season.
Probably not.
Because it'd be hard to watch the entire season and think that. Especially if you've seen Rick and Morty this season, it's absurd. In a fun way, the show is so much more grounded and clever. As in, like, in the Star Trek universe. That's, you know, I think we're all worried that it would be too similar, but it's actually more dissimilar than we thought it could be.
I was going into this thinking it would be very much like Rick and Morty, and I wasn't super impressed about that, and I was just instantly like, this respects Trek. This is so many great references for Trek fans. It's fantastic. So very much disagree with you there.
Mm-hmm.
What memories?
Mm-hmm.
And then Tipo says, I felt this way, a Rick and Morty wannabe, before I watched the whole of season 1. It did prove itself to be good. Good feels watch time without being Rick and Morty, really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think part of that is that it starts off with you know, setting up some of the characters in a less than strong way, because it's actually an arc. You're meant to feel different at the start to at the end, whereas when you watch Rick and Morty, it's very much the same tone, give or take, straight from episode 1. Whereas these people are going to evolve and are going to balance out, hopefully, and you know, have their own unique stories, etc., etc.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely can't compare them. So,
although Rick and Morty has got a lot of care and attention to its own universe, like it does, but you know, the fact that they've, you know, because the thing is, this starbase, they could have done literally anything and invented any ship. What do they choose to do? They chose to use, you know, 4 Canon designs and 2 similar variants, and it was like, okay, cool. You know, it works. It just works.
Dan points out that some people thought that the Orville was just going to be like Red Dwarf.
Which it is not.
No, absolutely not.
No, Red Dwarf is better. You can't, you know, but it's also simpler and more cleverly told. You know, having no CGI does help, because he's got to be all character. You know.
Yeah. 175 people here, which is fantastic. 131 likes, which is also fantastic.
Yeah.
If you're new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button and don't forget to hit that like button as well. Like is a simple thing to do. It's just a little thumbs up. Hit it and, contribute to the like spike. Hashtag like spike. We haven't done a hashtag like.
We haven't. In a while. He's up to here with it. Okay.
I said we haven't had a hashtag like spike forever. We haven't used that. So like spike, guys. Hit it. I'm not even going to give you a goal. 150.
Oh, good.
But
that lasted less than a second, Stuart. Less than a second.
It was subliminal.
It was
subliminal.
Okay. But what I like about this trailer is that breakdown for a second. There's like 4 visuals, right? 4 that are being chased, but in one small 15, 20 seconds, whatever. Telling the fans, 1, we respect your art design and can also invent it upscale a little bit with a PlayStation all the ships. And it just looks nice. It's a nice enough image. It's not amazing because it's all a bit one-tone colour, but it's nice, 2, it's modernistic with the cars, so it can go weird places, which we've always known. But 3, the uniforms are different, yet the same, and you can understand what they're trying to be. It's not bragging they're different, but they're different, and there you go. And then you've got these 2 alien races in the space of 2 seconds that exist from previous Trek, thrown in like no one's business, with a slight joke as well. Very short teaser. How much can they use? That's what Low Decks is. It's using the universe. And it's a very effective short scene. I might not care about doing a car chase in a shopping mall district, but I think it's going to be a very small part of the episode, Even so much as I can imagine maybe the car turns into like a hover car and then zooms out one point and there's more jokes ensue, because that could be kind of fun. Give us some,
like they're heading towards something and Boimler's like, there's no road there. Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads. And it goes to hover mode or something.
And then the Gorn just goes, they fly now.
Oh,
yes! Do it! Make a they fly now reference.
Ensign Ricky is here with $5. Thank you so much, Ensign. Ricky. Ensign Ricky. Sup, Cap? Sup, Sam?
Hey!
I have to agree. I loved Lower Decks Season 1. I never expected this to be a serious show. People are going overboard overboard like Starfleet wouldn't do that. No kidding. This is not a, serious type of show. So, but there's a good mix of both, actually.
Although, for a second, think of a couple of examples. In Star Trek Voyager, when they had their Good Shepherd episode, they had that guy who was such a hypochondriac who would call his friend like 3 times in the night saying, "Am I ill?" and try-called himself. You would say that's not very Starfleet behaviour. He should not be in Starfleet if he was that personality. How do you get on board a ship? That's not good. The guy that got his entire cadet class in trouble at the academy, the non-Tom Paris. Well, you'd think he wouldn't be able to get into the academy given there's only like 3 slots per system. There are extremes. The rambling mess that was the lady that put coffee in Picard's lap. She's clearly unprepared for being on the flagship. She didn't seem professional enough to be on the job. She's
going to be in this show, apparently.
Barclay had sex with the entire crew on the holodeck. Also inappropriate, not something you think they would do because they'd be over it societally. So it seems ridiculous because it is, but it's like, wait for the situation, I am assuming they're being chased by some negative force, that maybe shapeshifters, maybe the police, maybe they've come to the station and they're like, ooh, why is everyone getting, like, maybe even do a police brutality story. Just a bit, I don't want to see that, but if it's like the space station's, people are a bit corrupt and they get charged something wrong and then they have to escape, like, corrupt cops in a sense, then it's like, okay, they're allowed to escape doing weird things because it's a weird situation,
Yeah, I guess. My thought was that knowing Mariner, they're either, knowing Mariner and Boimler, they're either late for the reception or whatever they have to be at, so this is her idea to get there quicker, or they have to get there to save the day. Like, she found out that there is like some kind of assassin there, probably the Antedicans again, because it's just. But anyway, and so they got to get there in a hurry
until the mum dies. Maybe she's giving a medal and the mum's gonna blow up if they don't get there in 1 minute. Then
Yeah,
it's justifiable. And then maybe this entire scene is just a speeding ticket. That's why they chase them, just because they're running, that's it. It's just a speeding
And
ticket.
property damage. I mean, hey.
Well, yeah, okay, but I mean, initially, they're
Yeah.
why they even got cars? I mean, that implies there's a track around the station, which seems odd in itself. Although, okay, and actually they don't crash through. Oh, do they? Yeah. Okay, so they're being chased by two different cops. One on the main promenade and one inside the store.
Yeah.
Very odd.
No one special. I mean, number one special puts in $2. Have Hallmark ornaments come out in Canada and the UK? Oh, they should be actually out soon, if not already. Actually, I haven't looked. I always get them as well, all the ship ones. So I need to take a look now. I need to make a note of that because I gotta check that because they usually come out in June.
And I'm quite sad that Eaglemoss haven't made their Cerritos and lower decks content. I've been forced, but I keep paying for their Discovery collection with crap models I really don't care about, with ships that are bad. Why can't I get a Cerritos? Why?
Yeah.
Please, can I have a Cerritos? I mean, there was, not necessarily a 3D model ready to go, but I would like one.
I would too. Sean throws in $5. Sorry for showing up late. Oh, you should be, man.
I was going to say that's
Hold you-
okay, and
hold-
he took the other
Hold you
direction.
to a higher standard, Sean. Just kidding. Don't actually do that. And Jarzia, $5. Fact is, Starfleet has hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of positions to fill in a post-scarcity society where people don't have to work. They take who they can get. I don't know if I agree with that necessarily. It seems like Starfleet is something that a lot of people want to do. So there's a reason that there are, people posted to lesser class ships like the Cerritos and stuff because they just weren't the top of the class. But they still have to meet the minimum Starfleet ideals. So, yeah.
And also, they might be a genius in another field, and being part of Starfleet might help them evolve as people, to limit them in their professional career because of one small fault. And yes, obviously, as we said in TNG, they have to go through so many stages to get there, but, they might be incredibly talented to get there. Just, okay, they're, not everyone's, Picard, as a cadet, had his heart stabbed. In a fight with Norskins at a bar with real booze. So, you start young, you evolve.
Not just Starfleet, Federation jobs too. That's the thing. Like, if you had it's one of those, like the question, if you won millions of dollars, what would you do as a job if you still had to work? Like, you'd pick something that would be fun. Nobody would ever pick janitor, and yet there's janitors in this world. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things. People must enjoy doing it because they don't have to do it. So,
well,
I don't know.
There's a common knowledge that a lot of rich people are less fulfilled because they don't have the need to do things. They find their own unique hobbies because, well, they've achieved all that stuff, and it's just like, well, I don't need to work. Part of gaining purpose is working. If we got paid $200,000 to do Trekyards each year, so as in just a living wage, without thinking about it, well, it is work for us to make these videos, but we still want to discuss it in this form of way. Like, it is work, but it's also like us just doing it because. So it's like neither of us are going to work in a large grocery store, bagging bags and then coming home and then talking about this. This is you guys allow us to have this freedom to do this and kick butt, etc.
We always surprise her. I was gonna say we always surprise ourselves with the things we talk about or bounce off each other, and even you guys, like, we get some really good conversation pieces. So
yeah, and look at what I do in my free time. I make Star Trek fan films for other people to enjoy. I would have a hard time not doing stuff. I've said so many times. I know you must have heard me say it before, but when I retire, I'll write a book. You know, although retiring is not really a concept that people have so much anymore. But you know, I think it'd be interesting to do a survey. Obviously, different countries, different situations, but of the retired people, how many of them would want to have a job again, say 5 years after retiring, living the I can do whatever I want life? How many would say, yeah, actually, I'd take a part-time job doing something else? It's not necessarily for the money, but and I know that both of us have felt this, and obviously we expressed it to her a month ago or so. We had a lot of structure in our lives when the new shows were coming out. We were fully knowing what we were doing all of Friday, for me, all of Saturday, all of Sunday, and we were going to be at 5 p.m/10 p.m. every weekday. And that was a hell of a lot of structure in our lives. And so to lose that wasn't interesting. You know, we'd sort of grown up, built into that. So, you know, if you're retired, doesn't even have to do anything whatsoever. Yeah.
Tangerine Star 26 says 200,000 a living wage. He was just making a point. Like if we were wealthy enough per year that we didn't have to do any of this, we still would, because it's something that we really enjoy. So
yeah, if we don't have to think about the money part, then we just do. It'll be the same product. I mean, we don't try and skimp on things. We just kind of do. You know,
we'd actually probably do more creative things because we wouldn't need to, you know, do the things that get the views.
Well, and well, yeah, which we sort of have done for a while now because of you guys with Super Chats and Patreon, which is phenomenal. It's been a lovely burden to have to move away from a little bit. But I know that I think we would do more international travelling. We would go out and interview more people. You know, if that was all covered, we would say, well, yeah, let's spend 5 days and let's go interview this person. And it amazes me how low resolution the camera equipment or audio some people use to interview people when it's not that hard to do true professional levels. It's like, but if I was just there, I could just... Darn it!
Yeah, we would definitely do more than we have been, and we do a lot as it is, as far as trips and interviews and stuff goes. We'd like to bring that kind of perspective and, you know, the insider views from the people that worked on it to you guys. That's one of the things that got us started and kind of made us unique. And I think that's something that we would definitely do more of. So
there's always plans. It's just tricky.
Richard says, when do you guys get your YouTube plaque? When we hit 100,000 subscribers. We only just hit 60. So we crested that hill, and now we're hopefully on the way to 100,000.
I mean, we're T-minus 30 days until Lower Decks, with now an entire world to be able to watch it. Aiming for daily videos again if we can. They might be shorter, you know, that's okay. But still, be able to produce that, and yeah, people like to watch them, and I'm still proud of a lot of our stuff, especially when we make... I mean, we can't do it with Lower Decks so much, the where we're going next videos, you know, analytical guess where. I think we still do predictions, but it's more just what the hell could happen here? Although
we get the preview for the following week, so yeah. I'd like to try to put the story together.
Well, I do remember when we got to like episode 6, I started guessing a couple of right things, as did you, and I guessed lots of stuff for the last episode. So you start to get the mind of Mike Man and his team. It's like, oh, this is the sort of thing they might do. What is too ridiculous? I don't know. Let's think about that. Although Gordon Wedding was definitely more than we would thought was going to happen. So
yes,
you guys with that one.
Sean though throws in $5. Is that a Daedalus class docked on the right and the left? There's one on the far left as well. So, but yes, they are. And they're not the Olympic class. The nacelle shape is wrong. The secondary hull, we can't really see the secondary hulls, but we do have a Daedalus class to compare it to here. So
yes, and I mean we know these ships pretty well. Although it's funny because since Eaglemoss did their sort of official one, which they had multiple approval passes with, and that's the Horizon. Yeah, because it could be a star, but there may be points on the Bassards. I kind of doubt it, but there may be. But you can see visible chiller grills and Bassards. I hope we get a zoom in on that. It'd be fun to see a post TNG, because these would be civilian ships at this point, wouldn't they? They'd be bought and recycled because they are very old.
Or like I said, with the way they're kind of docked there, maybe they're museum pieces. Maybe they're part of the attractions to come into this starbase.
Or they're bars, special exclusive bars, hollowed out,
retro bars.
Oh my god, they get to walk in it. It's all TOS.
Yeah, Yeah.
And then
exactly.
Tindy get no Tindy, not is it Tindy, the green girl?
And, yeah.
Yeah. The whoosh. Because she likes the whoosh, the classic whoosh.
Yeah.
Oh, Bryce, it's okay. Good to see you.
Teppo says, do you guys have any interest in the Orville? Are you maybe going to do discussions in Orville in the future? We've reviewed all the Orvilles up to this point, so yes. When season 3 comes out, we'll be reviewing those as well. So yes.
So yes, please Google Trekyards Orville. You'll find the entire catalogue, including ship analysis, etc., and an interview I did with Isaac himself.
Yes.
Yes.
And ironically, our most viewed video is on the Orville, on the ship itself. So most views on the Trekyards channel.
Yes. Divana, yes.
Z Scott puts in $5.
Thank you.
Of 365 days of the year, when Trek is on, how much of your time do you volunteer for all this YouTube stuff you guys do?
Well, volunteer is the wrong word, really, but dedicate is a better word.
Yeah. Well, it comes out on Thursday, and then, I guess we can break it down.
Sure.
I gotta watch it a few times.
Hold on. Black screen titles. Stewart's Day. Fade in.
I get the video, and I watch it twice, at least.
It's much easier for low decks.
Yeah. I watch it twice to get the screen caps for the live that we're going to do, and also all the subtitles as well. Then I send that stuff off to Samuel. Thursday night, I do a first reaction review where I just talk about my thoughts on the episode, have you guys join in. It's always a great discussion. You guys ask a lot of great questions. We have a good conversation. You point out things I might have missed. I point out things you might have missed. It's just a good live. The following day, Samuel and myself film in the morning for probably an hour and a half. We film sometimes a spoiler-free or just a short... We don't do spoiler-free and spoiler-filled anymore. Just a short spoiler-filled review. Which do we still do that because we do the lives on Friday nights? Do we want to talk about it before we film? Because that's the thing.
Well, yeah, because that gets the most views. The lives don't get views; they get super chats. The videos get views, not money.
That's right.
That's why I do both.
So we film that, and then we also film a bunch of breakdown videos. If there's a new ship, if there's a weapon, comparison videos, uniforms, things like that for the week. Because usually Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday we have videos for. And then we do the live at 5 where we talk about the episode, do the review and discussion, break the whole thing down scene by scene, and just have a really great time with you guys. And then Saturday, Sunday, not so much goes on. But we usually do lives during the rest of the week, Monday through, Wednesdays, the day before it comes out, we do our speculation videos based on next time on, where we talk about what we think will be coming up. But Monday and Tuesday, we usually do a live on some aspect of the show, if not something else unrelated to it. But we do like to do the lives as well. So that kind of comes back to Thursday, where the same thing happens again. Now, going to black. Ding, Samuel's Day.
Wake up on Thursday. Look for the email from the Christmas Santa elf. Sends me a link. Although someone mentioned that yesterday it will be available at the same time to the UK and Europe. I then watch it with my breakfast and just enjoy on the sofa. I then go in and I take my screen caps because you haven't done that at that point. So I just take my analytical stuff. Okay, I know we're going to talk about the ships, the characters, the costumes. I take the frame I want. So I've got those. Now I'll do AI enhancement if I want to with softwares I have to try and get them in high resolution. I'll then decide what we film because I'm already awake and working. Obviously, Stu has his own ideas too, but I primarily make the graphics. I mean, they're obvious, so it's not like a great leap, but I produce the graphics, so I have a set framework for what the LCARs is, and I build everything within inside the LCAR so I can just put it in the edit. I say, okay, new costume. Let's say, okay, this costume is a dress uniform. Let's find images of the other 5 dress uniforms, make a graph, make several graphs to show an evolution, so it's not just here's a comparison. We go through a story, sort of, here's it compared to this, and the whole plethora, and then here's the timeline with future and past. There's a comparison. If I have to do photoshopping as well, I'll do that. I'll make the thumbnails. I'll normally get 3 to 5 prep videos or so, depending, including some folders with other topics we could talk about. That's my idea. I'll send Stuart this big folder full of folders. He'll say, hey, let's film on Friday. We'll do it early, and we keep doing it earlier every year. which we do. And then we just say, right, click, 3 hours of our day, let's go. Film until we're both feeling probably not the wellest we could feel, but that's what happens. I go straight from that into getting, peeing, getting a glass of water, start editing that day's video because that's to come out as soon as possible. I do it, I finish it with screen caps, which is super helpful. I can pick the best moment, zoom in, do the fades, whatever. Release that. Normally there's a premiere so that you guys get to watch it live, which I quite enjoy seeing how people watch it. So we're not live, but the video's live. As well as we're doing a live that day, which I always look forward to most because that is, I've talked to it briefly, but we try and keep it under sort of 20 minutes. And that's a scene by scene. We do a lot of learning. And then I edit all through Saturday and all through Sunday. Every video one at a time based on the needs for Saturday. So I'll make Saturdays on Saturday and Sundays on Saturday. If I can make Mondays on Saturday, that's great, but normally it's Monday and Tuesdays on Sunday. Then we film on Monday for Tuesdays and Wednesday, and sometimes Thursday depending. And I edit all Monday and some on Tuesday, and I stop on Tuesday, and might have the rest of Tuesday, rest of Wednesday, then it restarts again.
So we're busy, and if they have 2 overlapping shows, which they haven't done
I hate
yet,
it. It's not good.
we're gonna be.
Yeah.
But that's okay. And I'm probably not gonna get the Hallmark ship this year. Can you guess what it is? Anybody guess what this year's Hallmark
Cerritos?
ship might be? No, I would get that.
Oh, well. That's what I meant. No, that's what I meant.
The La Serena.
I said La Serena in brain. Damn it. I said it in my...
I already have one. It's right here.
Well, but it's not
Batmobile.
accurate.
The bat plane.
Well, let's have a look.
But yeah, I don't know if I'll get this one, actually.
How much is it?
$32.99 Canadian.
So they do one new one each year then. That's their vibe.
Yep. And then they do a bunch of figures. They got Mirror Universe, Chekhov, and Spock this year, which I don't get the figures generally.
How much Discovery content do they have? Oh, none this year.
None.
So it's all TOS and the La Serena. I wonder what sells the most and people like the most. I wonder why. I mean, that's a pretty nice looking La Serena. I mean,
it's all right.
Fits in the box well. The gold, the red. I keep saying things. I'm saying red on my brain, but it's not actually being said.
Actually, I might get it because red is a great color for Christmas on a Christmas tree. So,
I convinced you.
The ship's graphical design is fantastic for that. So we'll see.
Although I'm still slightly peeved, we've yet to get the the Eagle Moss La Serena.
I'm really peeved with Eagle Moss right now, but that's another story. They said they sent me a bunch of shit, and that UPS says it was delivered.
Oh.
I never got it, and I've asked 3 times now since then. So what's the next step? And I haven't heard one thing back. So I'm a little bit annoyed, but it is what it is. Anyway, BJ Turon, $5. Maybe the space station is like the inner harbor of Baltimore with its historic ship museums, including Navy and Coast Guard ships. Hey, that'd be cool. The Andorian ships are from the same, they look the same design as from the Enterprise era. So maybe it is very much a museum type deal going on there.
My only concern about that is that I feel it's a little bit too much of a cop-out or I say museum. I'd rather they were just civilian ships sold to colonies, and so they're just floating around. Like, for example, as they dock, Mariner, who's on the bridge, says, "Oh my god, it's all Daedalus classes!" And Bournemouth's like, "Oh, I love them! They're the balls! The balls! It's so cool!"
Yeah. Speaking of, they make great Christmas tree ornaments. They have the ball in the front.
Just hang down, and you get 2, and then you get a 3rd one. And you get a
Stop talking.
No. You get the thing you don't like from TNG. That's very vague. The alien space creature. That's the dude is a bit creepy.
Tin Man?
Yes. What's it called? What's the thing called? What's Tin Man called?
What's its actual name? Umbatu or something?
So I'm thinking Rigu or Gormagan, but there's like
It's not a
Mandalorian
Gormagander,
terms.
that's
No.
for sure. Anyway, let us know what.
So I was thinking Grogu, but that's Mandalorian.
No.
What's the
It's
main?
very much. I just watched that not too long ago. Either.
Oh.
It's
Basically, you want that and 2 deadlices, and there you go. Now you got a perfect ornament.
God, Tangerine Star 26 puts in £2, which is why I'm subbed and a member. Trekyards is the best. Thank you.
Thank you.
Much appreciated.
And we try and be balanced, fair. We don't talk politics or any of that stuff. You know, the day that the White House
Gum 2. That's it.
See, Grogu! That's so close.
So close, yeah.
See, the day the White House got, you know, whatevered by people who were doing live about something else that's Star Trek related. So I didn't even mention it once. It's like, it's just not our realm. We're not involved.
Yeah. So yeah, if you are new here, hit that subscribe button. I did share this in a few other Lower Decks groups, so there might be new viewers here. By all means, hit that subscribe button. Check out some of our Lower Decks content from season 1 if you haven't. Like we said, the numbers were a little low for that, but that was only because it was only North America. So if you haven't seen our season 1 reviews and stuff, I would suggest going to check those out. We've also talked about the Parliament class, the Cerritos, any of the ships, some really great stuff there. So check out our Lower Decks content. There's a whole Lower Decks playlist. Go check it out.
It's also an unknown entity. I can't blame people for not being as interested, to be honest.
Yeah. But yeah, and if you're new here, like I said, hit that subscribe button. If you want to join the channel, it helps immensely. And just hitting that like button. We have 180 likes right now. We can probably get 20 more likes, get to 200 likes in this live would be grand. It would be fantastic, actually.
We say it's grand.
Yeah.
It's grand, laddie! Even though it's a Irish thing, I said in Scottish, but that was sort of intentional. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know what else. Is there anything else you guys would like to talk about in this trailer? One of the cool things that is literally like one frame is like the data figures, which is kind of neat. It's hard to see, and maybe not a lot of people saw it or they missed it, but it's cool.
And this is post Data's death, so yeah. I don't necessarily think there'll be a context for this, like the Spock helmet. It's just there. There is no context. But I'm wondering. Well, there's a great episode of Babylon 5 where they're literally selling the actual. In the episode, they're selling actual merchandise that real life is selling about the characters as toys, and it's like they're selling toys because they're famous at that point. So I'm wondering if one of these vendors on the station is like a famous people in Starfleet memorabilia, and they walk in, it's just like, oh, do you want a Kirk action figure? And you can't get more forced canon references than a shop full of. But then the joke would be that most of it's wrong in some way. So Kirk is in a TNG uniform, and and Picard has hair. Like that would be the joke. They're all knockoff, so everything's wrong. Spock has although you make him be red. That'd be the joke, wouldn't it? A meta joke to original screen test. So that would be funny then. But then each one's a joke within a joke, and then you put R2D2 somewhere. He was in 09.
And in the darkness. Yeah, and do you want your Cisco figure like the Cisco figure, or do you want like the limited edition with hair and no facial hair edition, which is a limited number of those? Yeah, you do some good stuff with that for sure. Gorn uniform. Oh, the Darth Eddie says Gorn uniform might be the late 24th century version of the Genovese uniform, though it's a big change from the almost prehistoric jagged tunics they used to wear. Yeah.
Oh, it's a fine uniform. It's fine. Like it is. I couldn't really complain. It's uncreative, but it's I think the Gorns should be used more. They were treated with kid gloves for a long time, and suddenly Enterprise regressed them even further into creatures, animals. So having them be bipedal, like I think it grounds them way further and lets you use them more. Why wouldn't you have a Gorn? And that'd be why not have a new Gorn crew member episode? First Gorn in Starfleet. That's an episode. Tell that story. Now we've no idea what the Gorn are like really, so it could be literally the simple as his name is Bob, and he's really friendly, and that's his story, and everyone's like, oh, it's a Gorn, and he's like, hello, I just want to know,
Well,
okay, I'm friendly.
S1 Noir, our war, says everything in the shop. Well, assuming that everything in the shop would be 25% different. That'd be funny.
And that would be the tag, 25% or your money back or something for the. That's funny. Well, that's a meta joke.
Well,
Not a meta
just
joke.
yeah.
That's good.
Oh my god. Open Maw production. Yeah, actually, hold on before I get to that super chat. That'd be funny. A big sign in the background saying, "Yeah, everything 25% different due to legal reasons or something."
Did a Federation procedure or Federation rules? It's like what?
Yeah. Like one of like Mariner and Boimler go in there and you have a license to sell this stuff? Oh no, it's all 25%. Just it's fine. That'd be good. Open Maw Productions, $10.17. Thank you so much. I just saw the first episode last night. I did enjoy it. What is the overall consensus for you guys with Lower Decks so far? We really love. Well, I'm going to speak for myself because Sam will talk in a second. I really love Lower Decks. As I've said, and I believe this to be true. It's probably the most canon of all the new Trek as far as respecting canon and showing it on screen. And I'm really looking forward to season 2. I was kind of wary going into season 1, but it hooked me pretty much right away, and I've just enjoyed the ride ever since. It's the new Trek. We got Discovery, we got Picard, and we got Lower Decks so far, and it's the only new Trek that when I'm finished watching the episode, I feel really good each time, and I don't feel like, oh, it ends on a downer or somebody died or. So I do like the feeling of the new Trek, of the new Lower Decks formula. So hopefully it stays for season 2. Samuel, what's your consensus?
Well, I mean, if you want to watch 110 hours now, okay. We've done all the reviews. No, it's a good show. It's not a laugh out loud comedy, but Orville certainly isn't either. It's a good mix of Orville and Star Trek, which is an odd thing to say, but it has all the canon of Star Trek and all the clever humour of Orville, with characters that evolve, which is important because that's important. It has missteps, as all shows do, but it's remarkable how many good things it does compared to bad things. You can tell he really thought things through. Mike Mann wrote the TNG Season 8 online script thing, which got noticed by CBS, and he wrote a book about it. So, and I've been told he actually used some ideas from that in this, because, it's not a real season of TV, so he could do that. And so this, is a big fan, understands the universe. It's amazing they basically made, a Burnham Mark II who's better in every way, but maybe that was just, deliberate. And it's makes you feel good about Trek when you finish watching it. Like, there are some missteps, and because it's episodic, there are some weaker stories and some missed opportunities, but it's normally quite dense and filled with fun, and it's the only of the 3 shows, the Discovery, Lower Decks, and Picard, I was actually looking forward to next week. In an active sense of, I would love to know what happens next week. The other shows, I'm like, okay, what happens next week? It's still one to see, but it's a distinction of pure enjoyment.
And for us that really analyze it, it's also fun finding all the Easter eggs, all the Star Trek, the animated series alien race that shows up once or twice or whatever. Like, seeing those little things are really fun. And we always discover more as we go through the reviews. So, Eugene. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, and it's as you said, and I think hopefully most people would agree. Although those that don't like this, I mean, if you don't like animated series, you're not going to enjoy it. But that's just the nature of you liking something else. It's easily the best of the 3 new shows. Easily, it's also the best stories. What is television except good stories? It's not filled with plot holes. It's not filled with stupid moments. It's it's clever and considered, and easily the best of the 3 shows. It's the only show to benefit from not being rewritten in the first season, ruining a lot of it. It's remarkably good. It's better than it had any right to be, but fans like us, you and me, could also make it, as in, like, we would want a show like this and we would produce a show like this because of, like, the heart of what we would do,
Yeah, exactly. Eugene, 500 rubles. Their jewel of the collection will be a gold Boimler statue. No, they're going to have a bookcase or a shelving system in the store, and it's going to be the most important Starfleet officer of all time. On the top's going to be O'Brien, and then Data, and then Kirk. But O'Brien, they got to have an O'Brien statue, like the big golden statue in season 1. That would be great. I don't think there'd be a Boimler statue. They might be selling the Boimler effect plaques, maybe. But anyway, let's see here.
Yeah, my only concern about season 2 is that some of the stories I'm not going to enjoy as much. that as my biggest worry is a pretty good worry to have, because that's how we all felt while watching Voyager, Enterprise, and DS9. It's like, oh, that one's not quite as good. Oh, that one's better. That was cool, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But Boimler effect, though. Yeah, I mean, I don't think you'll get a gold statue for the Boimler effect. Just saying.
And Phil mentioned the Section 31 show. Michelle Yeoh is now on the new Witcher TV show. Now, her role is who knows how much is in it, but that at least takes her out for a couple of months. Not that necessarily planning, and Kurtzman has said they won't do Section 31 Discovery probably at the same time. So it's the next one after. So it's at least another year from being whatevered. But her, she can't keep waiting on her career for a show that she's been promised to have. Which could have, if you had 3 new shows been in development and produced since you were asked. I believe they talk about Section 31 as they're making Picard. And so she's seen Lower Decks, Prodigy, and Picard come out, and she's still being promised her show. But as someone who's not the biggest fan of Michelle Yeoh, because she's just not that amazing. I mean, it's all a gradient, but she isn't that amazing. She's good. She's fine. Her leading a show is no excitement to me personally.
Yeah.
And a show like that isn't exciting either. So,
like we've talked about, if the Guardian of Forever did send her back to the right time, I'm sure she could show up in Strange New Worlds at any time and be in an episode or 2 of that, helping out that crew, which could give hints to her Section 31 show down the road.
Yes.
So they can definitely work that in still.
But I just don't think there's a public need for it. And the longer they don't... I mean, think about the Rian Johnson trilogy of Star Wars films. That was announced 2 seasons of Mandalorian ago and 1 full Star Wars movie ago. Hasn't been made yet. Hasn't been cancelled yet. But it's never going to get made for obvious reasons. So the longer they just don't talk about it, the more you forget about it, moving on. Same exact thing for the Section 31 show, I believe.
Yeah, I would agree.
Now, a movie, give her an epic movie, made-for-TV movie, $15 million budget, set, Lost Era, she gets put, start with her, coming through the Guardian, now she's in TMP, oh no, big epic story. Good, fine, do it. Give her a movie.
Or a limited miniseries, 4 or 5 episodes long, something like that.
But, but she also needs a really good co-star because she couldn't lead it by herself, I don't believe.
Well, she'd have whatever his name is.
She's lovely.
Yeah. And
that'd be if he was in it. Issue.
Mary Shifo.
But going back into the Discovery era is bringing all those problems. I mean, they haven't done any Discovery era. I mean, and the only
even Discovery said Discovery era. No.
Yep. Yeah, even the last hallmarks of design with the costumes, pretty much. They're not going to think about it, season 4. They're not going to use the same phasers, tricorders, LCARs necessarily. The only thing remaining is the standing sets, because they're the things that are expensive to build. That's the only thing that remains of the Discovery art design is the physical sets. Now, you'd like to think they would paint them differently for the new season because they got awful the way they are, but it's just they've already moved away. I would be shocked, and we've seen the new plaque for Strange New Worlds. I would be shocked if we see a single Discovery costume in that show. Now, maybe as a fun callback to an old costume, but even so, I wouldn't get that same feeling of showing a whatever in But I would be shocked if any of these art designs, because that's their chance, isn't it? Especially if the fan love of the wanting for Strange New Worlds comes to fruition. Then, unlike the Discovery, where the art design wasn't sellable, we never got a think about that we got all the phases sold by Playmates back in the day. We didn't get a single Discovery thing come out in 3 years. It was out 3.5 years, whatever. No phasers, tricors, and those are things you can sell, but no one wanted them in the concept of the broader scheme. If Strange New Worlds comes out with a brand new phaser and tricorder that fans will really like, oh look, there are toys within 6 months. People buy them, moving on. So I'd be shocked if they keep the same art design just because those things are not well loved. They're either accepted or meh. But if they doesn't take much to reinvent the wheel into their own version, and the more they, because they are moving closer to TOS, they should be more like TOS as an unescapable fact. So make a modernized TOS tricorder and communicator, and then you sell it, they'll make money, and everyone's happy. So leave Discovery where it is in the past, in the future, in the past.
Yeah. Area 51. We need a Giorgio and Linus show. Yes. Rom-com. That'd be funny.
Do it WandaVision style.
Like an the Odd Couple kind of thing. Yeah.
And just rip off WandaVision, have it be a delusion, and then have it be
all part of Linus's this hibernation. He has this whole thing happen while he's in hibernation. Turns out it's not actually true. Sean throws in $5. Electronics O'Brien figure with O'Brien sayings. That'd be great. Z Scott, $10.
Oh, thank you.
Will Strange New Worlds' possible greatness be eclipsed by the canon issues of those events not having a page to turn to in the encyclopedia or memory alpha? Possible greatness be the canon issues.
Well, it depends. Because the point of the show, in theory, is Strange New Worlds. And we only saw a handful of adventures on every given episode. So that is the show that you'd want them to discover new aliens and a few alien races from other Trek that they can be clever and say, well, we've no idea when they were discovered. They're discovered here. But by finding new things, unlike Lower Decks where you want to use the universe, Strange Worlds is about having them be out and about, discovering new things, lets them... and small things, lets you do those things and not worry so much about the canon problem. You just have them see new, and they might not feel necessarily the most Star Trek aliens, but it's doing what the original series did. It's seeing new things and having good, interesting stories inside those things, and having the characters be metaphors and conduits for the story.
Yeah, because truth is a lot could happen that we didn't know about, but at the same time, they've put themselves in a certain time crunch as far as when the Enterprise has to be with Kirk and Pike having his accident. He's already seen the future, so
no fear of death.
He's basically an OP character at this point. He knows that he will not die unless it's in that specific instance, which hopefully they somehow make him forget that, because there's no stakes if the captain's like, I know I'm not going to die today, so I'm going to go do this thing.
And
okay.
And unlike unlike the scenes where they forget the Klingons have cloaks because they don't want them to have cloaks in Discovery, moving on sort of situation, or at least how do they get cloaks doesn't matter. Well, it does matter. No, it doesn't. No, it does. Moving on. To him knowing his own fate, he could walk into a room of phaser fire and know he's going to live. So therefore, every situation, ironically, he can be like Michael Burnham, who goes into every situation knowing the best because she's a stupid character. Well, he knows he's not going to die, so he can walk into every situation and be fine. It ruins a character. Even though we know as the audience they're not going to die, once they know it, it's like if they learn they're in a TV show where they know got 3 more seasons. It's like, oh, I've got 3 more seasons. My actor's not going to get kicked off the show. I'm the lead. I'll do whatever I want. So yeah, make them forget is definitely a good option. And to be fair, that wouldn't take much. Just in the first couple of episodes, just have him go through an ordeal, and he loses, last year of his life, or something. Talk about removing Discovery from the timeline. Everyone loses their memory of the last year. My God, Pike even loses memory, like he's only left with Spock. What an interesting. Yeah. That'd be a twist, wouldn't it? Only Spock knows. Dum dum dum.
Sean throws another $5.
Thank you.
Discovery is now what we should have at the beginning, a post-Nemesis TV series with a new crew and ship. Yeah. Yep. That's exactly what we said from the beginning as well by reviewing it.
Wow. That's great. Well said.
Ensign Ricky, $2. I blame time crystals for Pike. Time crystals. Hey, the future is powered on time crystals, just like Starfleet ships are powered by dilithium crystals. Boy.
And spores.
Yes. Sean, another $5. Thank you so much, Sean. Doesn't discovery mean discovering things? Voyager means a voyage. Defiant means defying, right?
Yeah, no, Discovery never discovered
Discovered
anything.
that is Michael Burnham.
They never discovered a damn thing.
They discovered spores.
They did discover spores, but that was before they even started. They already had spores, Stuart.
Okay, they discovered the awesome Michael Burnham, how awesome she is.
They did.
And they discovered the future.
They did.
And they discovered book. And they discovered...
What I'm trying to say is it was a poorly named show.
And it's the perfect name for a Star Trek show.
It is the perfect
perfect
name. But now it'll be
But
synonymous
they
with
botched
failure.
that.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
You know? Like we make jokes about, oh, look at Discovery. That's a problem, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Good tea, nice house. It's $5. I think they'll write Pike in a manner that he has self-doubts of his vision. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that'd be great. And have a lot of conversation with Dr. Boyce about it. We need to have Dr. Boyce back because I like the dynamic that they had. So, yeah.
No, that's... No, I like that. That's interesting. Because the longer it goes, the more...
The more like a dream it would seem, I think.
Well, especially...
Dreams get forgotten, at least the details.
Well, and they can make jokes about... Yeah, but it was a time crystal. No, that wasn't real. Yeah, that's interesting.
Well, we know it is, though, as the audience, we know that's what happens.
But his Federation training is saying, yeah, but that's just daft. You didn't really do that. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I like the self-doubt thing with Pike. I think that would play off really well. But
and in fact, you could have, because it depends how you want to play it. You could have a scene in, say, episode 4, where he wakes up in his cabin from a nightmare, the same nightmare that we saw in season 1, and he goes to the doctor and says, "What is this?" And he scans him and says, "Oh, you were radiated, but it's disappearing. This is the last traces of it." And so you got radiated with the time crystal, but as the further away you go from it, the less you remember because you're being temporally charged. And so now he knows something. He knows something is going to happen bad to him, but that doesn't help anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we have 195 likes. We're only 5 away from 200 likes.
Brilliant.
So hit that like button if you haven't. If you're one of the 5 that can save the day, please do. And honestly, another $30 would be a fantastic way to
right
end
there.
Out. So
we're so close.
If you have anything you'd like to say about Lower Decks Season 2 and this teaser trailer, people were saying earlier it's not a trailer, and it's not. It's actually a teaser trailer. So by all means, let us know. The last Super Chat slot is now in the hands of Good Tea, Nice House.
We do love his tea.
TNG quote.
Yeah.
A great TNG quote from Worf. So if anybody wants to snipe it, it's right there for the taking. So feel free.
But as I said, I am now tempted to get someone to build me this station just to have it in one of my Trek shorts, because it's fun to have stuff from Canon. Just a dock of the station. I'd probably tweak it a little bit more because it's a little too similar to me, but that's okay. And obviously the caveat of you got to texture it with the real details, but it's a very simple station. That would be cool. I don't know what short I would have that could do it. I will tell you though that our resident moderator Matt Boardman is finishing off my Cerritos remaster right now. He does bits and bobs, and that is one of the bits and or bobs he's done. I've yet to see anything yet.
He's been busy. That's why he's been busy. It's your fault.
Well, he's been working on a TV show, which makes him really busy.
Oh.
Yeah. No, he hasn't. Not on my stuff. Real TV stuff. Good for him. And so I haven't seen it yet. I tend to like to see stuff as we go along, but he doesn't like doing that, which is okay. I have some artists that do that. They're like, here's it finished. I'm like, it's not finished though. You didn't finish it. Yeah, I don't know. It'll be great. And then I'm excited to finally do some animating with the Cerritos, looking kind of, because I did my test version, which had a sort of a hybrid vibe of the comic, the animated, and then the real. This one's gonna be fully real and has experience with the real texturing, so there's no problem there. And so, you know, I've already written the script for that short number 4. It's fully written. I've started in previs, and I know there's going to be quite a lot of shots with the Cerritos in it. Some stuff I don't want to talk about that's going to be quite exciting. And so if you like the Cerritos, I'm definitely going to bring it back to life and do some cool stuff with it. And hopefully Mike sees it and enjoys it. But if you like the Cerritos, you'll be seeing it for real. Yeah.
Excellent. BJ Tirano, $5. When do you two think the post-Kurtzman secret hideout era for Trek began? Is Lower Decks post-Kurtzman? Not post-Kurtzman. Just was not as involved in it. He's still the executive producer, but he was not as involved hands-on with it.
But so is Eugene Roddenberry, and he hasn't done anything on any of these shows.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly. But as you said, something that's kind of worried me, now that they've seen what the success Lower Decks is Alex Kurtzman going to want more involvement and kind of get in there mudding things up, which I hope not. I'm just looking forward to a post-Kurtzman era of Trek.
Because remember, the only reason the Enterprise bridge has a corridor around it is because he said so. That's it. That's the only reason.
Yeah,
and it's
the disco prize. Yeah.
And it's an illogical thing to do that doesn't make sense at any level, showing he has just no care and attention for the stuff. He wants it, he gets it. I think Lower Decks is an anomaly, just like the guy from DS9, the writer, the Stephen I. Robert. He says, Voyager was the golden child. Everyone's watching that. We had very little scrutiny. I was able to do what I wanted, even if it wasn't as Star Trek as it could have been. I got to tell the stories I wanted to tell. And so they benefited from the lack of supervision because they kind of gave up on DS9 because Voyager was more interesting as a Trek show. So because Lower Decks wasn't taken seriously in the same way, Kurtzman had Picard. He wanted to be involved in Star Trek Picard with Patrick Stewart, who he talked to and got involved. He was on those sets, working with that stuff. Lower Decks, all digital, no sets, did it all their own way. Amazing show. Hopefully, Kurtzman been very involved in all the other shows to not be involved in this one. But it's definitely a cousin of his era, where little interference. I'm sure in season 2 he gave them mandate. I want to see this story. I want to see this kind of story, and they will feel. And I think you'll be able to see maybe those things that stick out more. Like, well, that's not as organic. That's a misunderstanding of the Star Trek philosophy. But hopefully minimally.
Great answer.
That's why Stranger World's not a slam dunk, because he's still heavily involved in it. And he has bad ideas.
There's some hope there, though.
Well, that's why he's not a showrunner. He was taken off showrunning duty for every show he's ever been on. And showrunners tend to want, what happened? Michelle Paris took over showrunning Discovery Season 3. Much better season. Because remember, Kurtzman was a showrunner of Season 2, Part 2.
Moving on, Ensign Ricky says, puts in $5, so thank you so much. If Disco started like they did in Season 3 and treated Season 1 and 2 as one long trailer, I think it would have been a great premise to the show, in my opinion. If they had started, it should have definitely been a post-Nemesis show. We said that from the beginning. Everything would have been fine.
It looked like it was until we started watching
absolutely. it. Snoopy McQueen, $5. Playmates will have new Trek toys out next year. CBS thinks Prodigy is going to be a hit. Well, that's great. I still want some Discovery toys myself. I'd love some Discovery action figures and stuff. But
what he means is he wants Tilly figures at many sizes, at 2 inches, 10 inches, 30 inches, life-sized.
6 inches is where it's at.
You wish.
Oh, good. That's a good comeback. I like that.
And it was instant. I was.
Oh my god. Moving on.
That's a smile.
Yeah. Sean Corpier, $5.
Hi, Sean.
When is Prodigy? Is Tarantino going to do Trek? Also, we need Star Trek game, Starfleet Command Volume 4. Yes to the last one. When is Prodigy? Who knows? And Tarantino going to do Trek? Probably not. What are your answers?
I think at a certain point it's worth a lot of the new Treks have been, look, let's get publicity. Because publicity is how you get clickbait, it's how you get views, how you get people. and views on websites, you can even your website, you can promote, you can show to shareholders and say, look, we've got views, but it's not necessarily watching it for the content. It's watching it because you're promising new content. Star Trek 4 they announced and got cancelled several times, and their intention was there, but they didn't have Star Trek 4. They just said they did. So okay, good for you. So what was the point?
I don't know.
I don't know. Something.
Dan 23 says.
Oh, Tarantino. Tarantino, yes. So he probably said in one meeting somewhere, I'd like to do it, and then they leaked that to the press. The press got trigger happy, and then he got hounded by people asking, when's your Star Trek? He's like, I just said it in a meeting once. It'd be cool. I say lots of things in meetings, but never stuff that gets them free press. But then after, the ideas came round, he didn't have a really good idea, didn't want to really do it. I mean, it's fair enough. I've had lots of ideas in my life. I'm sure you've had even more. Because you're older than me. And, yeah. I mean, he would have made it by now. You know what I mean? It's been years now, like a year and a half. He could have been in production, whatever. And, you really think if he says he wants to make a film, he couldn't make a film. He has enough capital in the industry to make whatever film he wants at any given time.
Dan 23 says the Playmates toy is Picard line. Wow.
They just
I haven't
announced
heard
that?
any of this new. I haven't heard any of this new Playmates news. So
I heard there was some. I did not hear it was I didn't hear it was Picard line. I'd be surprised it was Picard line.
Me too.
Although, did you see? Well, have you seen the special figures, the Exocon figures of Picard and Data? Have we seen those yet?
Oh, the 6-inch ones.
Yeah.
Not in person, but yes, I've seen them. The Data one's quite impressive.
I mean, they never get Picard's likeness right ever. I think it's part of the likeness rights. If you look at the posters at like Star Trek Vegas and such, they have the correct Shatner, they have the correct Michael Burnham, they have the correct Janeway. They always have the same stock footage, artistic render of Picard, and sometimes the wrong one of Cisco. Because we know that Nimoy and Shatner both sold their likenesses to CBS in the 90s, I believe, or the early 2000s, for give us many millions, here it is forever. Clearly Patrick hasn't done that because they never use his likeness, the correct one. And given they own Star Trek, to use his likeness shouldn't be an issue, but unless they haven't got permission and using, so it's just better to not have to pay Sir Patrick, so we use a close enough picture. As I'm sure in modern contracts, it's just part of it. That's why they own Mulgrew and... But it's a stark contrast. We have 5 captains, and who the hell's that bald guy?
Yeah.
Like, it's not Patrick Stewart, and so I'm sure it's hard to get a face likeness. It really is very, very hard. But Data one's great, very good. Very, very good. Brent, very, very good Data. There are very, very good artists out there that can make a photo real, or the choice not to.
Yeah. Sean though throws in $5. I want to like Picard. Please fix it. Maybe garlic will keep Kurtzman away. Well,
they replaced a lot of the crew behind it, so we can hope. New showrunner. That makes a big difference, guys, believe me. Do you see what Manny Koto did to Enterprise? Whole different show.
Yep.
Yeah, showrunner. Well, a showrunner that can put their foot down. That's really important. A showrunner that's I'm there to follow orders versus a showrunner that knows better is the wrong wordage, because that implies there's just the right answer. But a showrunner that means well. Clearly Michael Chabon went into Picard, wanted to leave too much of his own impact on it. Brian Fuller wanted to change Star Trek entirely. JJ didn't care. That's a separate thing. So Brian's ideas were just too far out. He just wanted to do his own thing at the expense of what Star Trek was and is. But then you get someone like Michael Mann, who's like, I just want to make a Star Trek show. Can I make a Star? Yes, you can. Okay, great. Here's a Star Trek show.
So Snoopy McQueen just sent me an article saying that Playmates is getting back into Star Trek for 2022. Fans can look forward to a new lineup of action figures and accessories from Star Trek Discovery, Star Trek Lower Decks, and Star Trek Picard. Other Star Trek series throughout the universe coming soon.
Wow. Discovery even.
Including the motion picture, CG series Prodigy. Yeah. Damn.
Big license deal.
Yeah, I'm impressed. I'm happy. Playmates always did good stuff, so we'll see.
Yeah, the lack of merchandise. I mean, if you look at the new art designs, I'm sure they showed them the new Picard stuff, because we know Doug and such are working on Picard with better art designs. I would be shocked if there was bad ship designs in season 2. I'd be shocked if Serena wasn't blown up and refitted to some extent, or a mirror one. Like, that's their chance to make a new version of the ship. So, they couldn't sell these designs, and we know that, like, even Ben from Eaglemore said that we just don't sell Klingon ships well from Discovery. It's like, no shit. Of course you don't. You make a concept for the Excelsior that was never a ship and it sells better than the Klingon real ships. Yeah. Not a surprise. That's obvious.
Yep. David Bessig throws in $20.
David.
If most, or at least a lot of the fans who are hardcore or fans from pre-Kurtzman era, likely 60% or more of total fans, hate Kurtzman, how does he still have a job? I don't pay for CBS, and it's his fault I left. He knows the right people. I'm not going to say it, but he knows who to influence, I guess. But yeah, that's how him and JJ and them kind of work. They all know each other. Like, you look at a JJ production, and you got Kurtzman always like there somewhere attached. So,
well, and if you look at the writer chap who is synonymous with doing bad things, he seems lovely in all his interviews, but his IMDb is failure after failure of writing. He's the writer. It's like, how have you written so many absolute failures creatively and box office wise, and you're still, and now the showrunner of Strange New Worlds? It's like, how did you possibly get that job? Or one of the lead, you're the director of the first 2 episodes of Strange New Worlds. Have you seen your career? It's awful. You have not got people like you, and you're obviously easy to work with. So I think, contracts are important. I'm sure when the Discovery contract was written and Kurtzman had to bring in from Fuller, because Fuller was the showrunner originally, when Kurtzman came, he probably said, I want a 5-year deal with CBS, not knowing he was going to do 5 spin-offs, and then he worked his way into those deals. He brought people on board. He's presumably the one that hired all these other people who got them money. Now they're all to him because he gave them a job, etc., etc. Moving forward, and they can't let go of him.
S1 Anwar, Kurtzman demonstrated exceptional oral sensitivity on multiple occasions. Yes, you got it. Z Scott puts in $5.
Thank you.
Would the new Star Trek movie being rewrote be about a huge crossover with the shows and the movie settings similar to TNG All Good Things? A Star Trek movie being rewrote. So like a multiverse of Star Trek. They've already kind of gone there. We got the Kelvin, we got the Mirror Universe. We've got all this. We've seen parallels. There's at least hundreds of different...
Well, and besides, it would be odd because Discovery is both in the super past and super future, so bringing them in at all would be difficult. Stranger Worlds is just TOS on how to do that, as in without forcing it. And they look so different, the vibes. I don't know. I'm not excited by Lower I'm not excited by Picard or Discovery, so I wouldn't even want to see them in a crossover. Whereas in the olden days, it would be, yes, let's see a Voyager DS9 and TNG crossover. Awesome. I don't want to see that stuff.
And David, I disagree. He says, just don't buy the stuff and they'll stop making their stuff. Don't give them money. It's that simple. Once it hits them in the pays, they'll wake up. There's fans of New Trek, though, that are going to buy this stuff regardless. So that's not going to do it, unfortunately.
Although, as I said, the Eagle Moss, people aren't buying it as much as the other stuff, and the fact they haven't made merchandise proves people will not buy it. Because you do market research. If it was popular, there'd be lots of things out there. Same with like Star Wars. They got less popular, they sold less things. They changed what they made, and they, because toy companies expect a revenue each year. You've got to create new things to sell, and so often it's just making newer versions of the same thing, etc., etc.
Yeah.
But, I say bad Trek is worse than no Trek, but medium Trek, okay, it takes a little time to get better. Bad Trek is bad, but it's sad though that Discovery's failure has led to no Lower Decks merchandise. I mean, it's been a year now. Okay, you can get a few T-shirts, but there should be uniforms, there should be ships, there should be, it's shocking there isn't. But, you know, Discovery was a thing. In the olden days, there'd be all this stuff would be pre-made and ready to go.
Yeah. Not a band account, puts in $2. What form of eye injury can we expect this season?
I guess it's true. Rutherford also had a... So yeah, both had horrific eye scenes, graphic scenes with eyes.
Discovery hasn't yet, though, have they?
No. Which is shocking.
It's very shocking, actually.
Or did Tyler Vock have his eyes in one of the close-ups? I don't know.
Well, we know there's a thing with Lorca's eyes, because, you know, near universe people are sensitive to light.
For about 12 minutes. I guess he does stab his eyes, I guess, with a needle, which is quite a thing.
Yeah. Tuning 3434 says, I'm actually don't need new Trek. I'm fine with my reruns. And that's cool. Your old Trek isn't going anywhere, so...
Although it can get actively damaged by new Trek. As in Picard and Cyber of Nine.
Yeah.
And it's sad we have to ignore new stuff to just watch the old stuff and enjoy it. Like Seven's Journey and Echeb. Oh dear. But a question for you guys, though. It's been a lovely live, great discussion, lots of people. Awesome. And we love the clearly there's engagement for Low Decks, which is fantastic. What do you guys want to see this week for lives? For was it Wednesday, Thursday? Would you like to see a top 10 of uniforms? The third one? There are more uniforms. Would you like to see 2 TNG reviews? What would you guys like to see? Let us know in the chat below. What would you like to see this week on lives? Or a top 10 of something else? Let us know right now.
Hopefully we get more breaking news, though, so we can talk about that. There should be new stuff coming out eventually with Strange New Worlds and stuff as well. Plus the Prodigy trailers, conventions coming up, panels.
They must be like just itching. The finger is on the button. Especially as Strange New Worlds use a lot of, and Discovery as well, use a lot of the LED wall like Mandalorian. So they're going to have a lot of digital environments. They're going to look very, very good. So it's likely we're going to, especially for Strange New Worlds, I mean, I know that Rebecca Romaine said we go to a lot of colonies. Well, if you only have to build 3 huts on an LED wall, look, I'm on the blue planet. Paint. Okay, now on a green planet. You know, so we should actually have a lot of TOS vibing alternate worlds and a relatively low cost and good looking thing. So it'll be a whole different feel, which, you know, in the olden days you have to go out film in a quarry, then film in a rainforest, then film or build Planet Hell set, and they have, you know, the same 12 things. So it's waiting to be shown.
Tuning 3434 says this channel runs on new Trek, so understand the reality of what you are telling. Okay, this channel does currently kind of run on new Trek.
Ticks
there's
along.
So much coming out. We started when there was new Trek on the horizon. We talked about all the... It wasn't new Trek on the horizon. We were talking about the old Trek. So the channel is actually about just Trek in general, Trek, tech and ships. So,
but you are right. We are able to keep going because of the new Treks, and we love that stuff.
Yes.
But I mean, that's the nature of anybody new is interesting. And you know, but we didn't enjoy having to talk about Discovery Season 1 when it was bad. That wasn't fun. We're not a hate channel, so you know, bad Trek does hurt the brand. And certainly people actively avoid our channel because we even reviewed it. You know, loyal fans never came back because we gave them time of day. We sold out.
We're sellouts. Yeah. All right. Let's see what we got. Got some more super chats, which is great. Sean puts in $5. Is there a problem with the Lost Era? No one wants to do it. Wide open real estate for new stories. We totally agree. Would love to see something in there, but yeah, I don't know why they don't touch it.
But once they touch it, if they do it badly, then they've now burned one of their few eras. So sometimes it's best not to touch. Well, lots of times it's best not to touch.
Yep. Matt Boardman, $10.
Matt Board.
Both Paramount and CBS have discovered that merchandise from their new shows does not sell as well as the stuff from the Trek series before, especially TOS. Hence why you don't see as much new stuff. Yes.
Almost any. And lots of it's been cancelled over the years. You know, Eaglemoss had a line of and someone else had a line of busts, and they had Sorrow and Burn and then cancelled.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. That's it. Yeah.
Not a band account, $5.
Thank you.
Lower Decks needs the Consinti to return.
Yeah.
Mariner would have fun dunking on cat people who believe that all females are only dumb animals. Yeah.
Well, the key is everything should return in Lower Decks. Cleverly.
Yeah. Yeah. Jordan Reed, £5. There is an official comm badge made for Lower Decks by Fansets,
Mm-hmm.
and also they also have a few other Delta designs available.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when we met Fansets back in Denver when they were brand new, and they came to our booth and gave us some promotional
I do remember
stuff.
Now you've said that.
That was before they had the big push.
Yeah.
So they came to us first. Ha.
Fun times.
Yeah.
And I know their badges are a little bit. They're not best with accuracy, which amazes me because these things are easy. Like their Picard comm badge they got wrong, just flat out wrong. Like it's close, but it's like but the production gives you one. You make it. How are you making mistakes on this? It's remarkable because you know my modelers. I say try and make them do the right thing. You know, there's one right answer. You know, but.
Yeah.
You know, it's a conceptual, it's a close badge. It's like visually right, but it's not necessarily size right.
Yes, and David Bessig, $5. Do a top 10 live on favorite types of warp nacelles.
Favorite warp nacelle design.
I mean, that's definitely doable. Top 10 at some point.
I feel like that should be like a top 15 though. Do all of them because then at least we'd have a longer live. Because I mean, what can you say about them? I don't know, but. I mean, they're not hard to find. You just get every single ship in Trek Federation. Just say this. So maybe top 20. You know, top 10, but it's really 20. Just go through them. It's not that hard. What would be your number one? I don't know. Not a question I've ever asked myself. What's my favourite warp nacelle? Well, no, sir. What's my 17th favourite warp nacelle? I've never asked that of myself. I might be surprised.
The Luna class one.
No, maybe. I don't know. Start at number one, then you can work out.
I think I know what my number one would be, but I won't say just in case. But yeah, 216 likes. That's awesome. Let's get 4 more likes to 220.
There you go.
We're just at that 2-hour mark, so we're going to be calling it quits in a second here.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, David Bessig has the last super chat slot. But honestly, let's say another $20 would be a good way to end out. It would be a perfect number.
It would. Why not such a lovely
lovely
number?
That's cool as well. You guys have been really great this one. Thank you to all the new viewers. If there are new ones, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell notification icon to all. Super important.
And clearly, we're excited for Lower Decks, and you know, to start Lower Decks with a one of the few things Discovery definitely didn't do was exterior CG well. They didn't, and even in Picard, they talk about ships that just don't show them. Other forums would say, "Oh, we didn't even know what these ships look like until Eaglemoss shows them," which is not how that should be. First thing we get to see in the trailer is a great shot, very clear, very visible. All these things, you understand exactly what's going on. It's a beauty, These things should happen.
Yeah,
good to see. Good to see.
3 more likes, guys. Three more likes, guys. And David is the last super chat slot guy, I guess. So, Thank you, David Bessig. Bissig. I think I say it wrong again. I went back into the old way of saying it.
Well, speaking
Bessig,
of though, we have a new
Bessig.
Bissig-verse episode coming soonish. That'll be fun. Lots of nice CG for that one. And Stuart, we are filming with someone tomorrow. Coming back to the channel after a long hiatus, and their episode will come out on Saturday. Looking at ships, etc. We'll see if they did their assignment on notes, because they had to. If they want to get a third episode, they got to bring the notes to tell us and show us. If they don't, that's their choice. They could have a third one. We'll see. I'm fun. They're a good guy to talk about. I'll talk to them in.
So look forward to that on Saturday. Well, I'm not going to tell you who it is.
No.
Dan23 says you should do a live video about Starfleet ships with 1 nacelle, 3 nacelles, or 4 nacelles. Discuss one you like and don't like. We should do a lot of things, and we will eventually. Don't worry.
Yeah. But guys, 6 more likes and we're done. That's all we need. 6. 6.
Ooh, 6 more likes.
Branson's fight last Saturday.
His flight. David.
Richard Branson's.
Richard Branson's flight.
I thought it was yesterday.
Yes.
I guess last Saturday he means like 2 days ago, but
yeah,
I would think that'd be 2.
Low Earth orbit. It was pretty cool, actually.
Didn't see it. Good for him. I mean, I really have. I didn't know it was happening. I don't watch the news really. I
didn't know till it was done, and then I watched the highlights because that's all I care about.
I did watch the last NASA trip up, or to the space station. I did watch that, and it was interesting to see. It took like 4 minutes to get to the space. So that was fun, but I don't know.
Matt Boardman said, "Psst, where's the review on the ring ship?"
Stuart, if you love it, put a ring on it.
I loved writing that script. Too bad you'll probably never be able to hear it. Shut up! Don't ask me where the holodeck episode is. By the way,
that is true.
I'm just that terrifies me doing that.
So see, there are reasons why certain things don't get made. There are certain specific reasons.
It's been filmed, just hasn't been made.
Yes.
Finalized.
3 more likes. 3 more likes. But yes, and I do want to do another Drunk Live with you. Some point before Lower Decks. I may or may not have a new costume or two for you guys to put me in, which I'm excited about. I do enjoy those. Stuart may or may not have some more costumes at some point. I'm waiting for something to be sent, before I can send to you. Because we suddenly did a larger order. He was ready to send the previous order, and then I said, "Can we have more things?" He was like, "Oh, okay." I've got to make them then, haven't I? So I'm sure I'll get that eventually, and I can send stuff out to you. I'm sure you heard it.
Well, Matt Boardman's laughing at us about the ring ship and the holodeck episode. You know what we should do? We should just send him all the footage from the ring ship episode and the holodeck episode, and he can finalize them for us. There you go, Matt. And then we have to approve it, of course. Z Scott, $5. Has the live been done on the top 10 time travel events of the franchise, along with the breakdown of how the time travel worked? No. We have talked about our favorite time episodes, though,
Yes.
I believe.
We have already done a top 10 time travel episodes. Not as a live though, which would be worth doing because now there's been more, and retrospect has changed. I believe we also. I think the line of what is a time travel episode we discussed because you can define them slightly differently. Traveling versus existing versus showing the past. So that could probably be classified a bit down.
Matthew Cole says, I never got the one to sell thing, as I always thought you need 2, whether that was a retcon thing later episodes or not. The pairs rule is bullshit, but
except when it's not.
We've done a whole episode talking about those rules of starship design with Andrew Probert. It's actually 2-parter, and it was really well done. And there's ways to get around and discuss a one nacelle ship. So we've done that already. So check it out.
As we've said, it was a limitation of that era. Tech evolved.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with that. I like that. That was the first time we had a big fleet that existed, and after that
But you say that era, but it's TOS, and there's the TOS Saladin class. There's the Federation class.
Well, obviously those weren't Gene's ideas, so they're not canon in any way.
But he helped Franz Joseph do that technical manual until they got an argument, and then the pairs rule. Whatever. We did a thing talking about it. So.
But I have some really nice CG coming out with the Saladin class. It might be the Saladin actually, which we might talk about tomorrow or not with the guest. That'll come out, I believe, next Friday. Yeah, should be fun. I have never really filmed. I had to kit bash my Connie into a Saladin, like properly because it's a hero model, it's a hero shot. So I was like, carefully do that, and it looks nice. I'm really pleased with the shots. I like it.
Matt Boardman said he would totally do that, so there you go. We got that problem
Matt,
solved.
you're busy with other things. Do other things first.
This is easy though compared to the other things. Just send them the LCARs and then send them the footage.
It is, but limited time. I'd rather the other stuff get done for other reasons. The other stuff's cooler.
But everybody's been waiting. Like we're gonna look back on it. We're gonna be old men and release this new episode about the ring ship.
So Stuart,
20 years.
Stuart, talk about the Enterprise D bridge. So what do you think?
But anyway, let's get these last super chats read. We got 230 likes, which is awesome.
Yeah, we did it. We got the likes. Thank you, guys.
Sean, $5. Star Trek Relativity show to resolve temporal Cold War. Have Admiral Archer cameo.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
And Sean Corpier, $5. Maybe Quantum Leap was part of the temporal Cold War. Hey, there you go.
Look.
Oh boy. Yeah.
That was perfectly in time on my machine, which is how you guys watch it. So that was good.
Well, guys, I think we're going to call it quits there. Thank you for watching this. If there's any new announcements, new news, tune in here. Same time, same channel. We will be discussing new stuff. We'll see what we're doing tomorrow and Thursday. Not sure yet, but we'll see you then. Until then, he's Commander Cocking.
He's got a Foley.